Good afternoon, it's Paula. I'm here to talk to you today about packing for a crop retreat. So I'm very lucky. I've got a couple of retreats coming up this year, and I've got one coming up in a week's time. So I just thought I would put this little video together to show you what I do to get myself ready for a retreat. Okay, so to begin with, obviously, if we're going for a scrapbooking, we need photos, lots of photos. And I've just discovered something that's probably been around for a little while, and a few of you may have seen it, but this great little system that you can get from good old Kmart. Now, this system has got a whole bunch of little mini holders inside that hold up to 100 photos in them. So what I have done, that one was empty, but what I have done is I've gone through and I've divided up my photos that I've got printed ready for the retreat into different sections. They might be to do with my children, different sections for my children, or it could be different part or activities of that child itself. So I've got a little system in place. Now I tend to only print photos when I'm pretty close to needing to use them. So I don't have oodles and oodles of photos lying around, and I will be changing what's in these containers continuously. So if I do choose to label them, they will just be a temporary label that I can peel off and replace with, excuse me, something new. But I thought that was a great little system. It's only about $16 or similar. It came out, and it's a nice way to carry and get your photos to your retreat. Now the next thing you're going to need if you're going to be doing some scrapbooking is obviously some papers. Now, I do two different things here. What I like to do is prepare myself a few kits ready for getting started. And I will look at the scrapbooking kits available through Close to My Heart and some of the promotions on. And at the moment we've got a beautiful one with Hope and Kindness. So I look through those and decide if I want to use those and whether they're going to match my photos well or not. So that's my first little step. So if you look in my organiser, this is one of our smaller organisers. It's a large size. It holds more than 12 by 12 size inside, which is really handy. But in here, I place, underneath these, the bits and pieces that I require for my kits. So, for example, I have got, let's just grab one out here. Here's one that's got photos in it, just to give you a bit of an idea. If I pop photos into them. This one back here will do the job. This here is a kit that I've actually just put a note on the top as to which photos are going in it. But I know this has actually come from an album retreat, so I've put in the image of the layout that it entails. Album retreat gives you these kits all pre-cut, pre-made, pre-ready to roll. All the instructions you need, as well as all the little extra tools you might require to do all the stenciling and other fun things with it. So I have got that kit ready to go. I've actually got my photos still in my photo storage box, but I had a little note to say which photos were going to go with this. That is a project all ready to go. Great for Friday night when you're just getting started and you just want something nice and easy to pull out at a moment's notice. Now I also will go through my photos if I don't have a specific kit, and I will just lay out, usually on top of a piece of white daisy cardstock, because often that is my base. I will lay out a collection of photos. And I'll do that and I'll pile it up, and I've got a whole sort of pile of these pages ready to go, just dividing up my photos. Now the next stage, which is what I'm going to be doing this weekend, is to sift through my supplies and add a few pieces of paper and embellishments and things that are going to work really well for that particular theme of those pages. So that's how I get myself ready for my scrapbooking. Now, just in case, for example, I haven't got to sifting through my supplies and putting bits and pieces out, I do like to bring a few pieces of little packs of papers with me as well. Now, our beautiful system for travelling with our scrapbooking supplies is this lovely black suitcase. And it can come with a trolley as well, and it can stack up with two cases on top of each other. This one has actually got a concertina, so it's really lovely to use, and we can pop different themed papers inside, and I generally put it into really common things like this one's florals. I've got a Christmas one in here, I've got specialty paper, boys, girls, brights, you know, all those sorts of things have been packaged up so that I can easily find my supplies when I'm ready to do those layouts. So that is one nice way of putting them in. Now what I am using there is our storage envelopes. Paper envelopes, they come in a pack of 3. They're really strong and sturdy, hold your cardstock and your pattern papers beautifully together. They also work with a smaller size here, which also comes in a set of 3, which if you don't have a photo storage holder, this is what I often do as well, is pop my photos into one of these strong protector envelopes, pop one of those envelopes inside my big paper envelope with all my papers, and then I've got my kit ready to roll for another time. These are so worth it, particularly for storing your different coloured cardstocks if you need some way of making sure that they are protected beautifully. Now, if you don't have the funds for one of these beautiful cases, Kmart, good old Kmart comes to the rescue again, and they've got these lovely bamboo holding boxes. So you can literally just have these stacked up inside at your fingertips, ready to pull out when you're scrapbooking and sitting right beside you. So that's a really good way of having your paper selection stored and easy to access while you're crafting at the retreat. So that's your paper sorted. That is our photos sorted. Now I also obviously need some of my basic supplies. So I do carry along a couple of my black Versamats. I lay them side by side as I'm scrapbooking, or if I'm stamping I have one flipped over so I've got the nice spongy surface for stamping. They fit beautifully into this case. I also always bring along my all-purpose mat so I've got my white clean surface whenever I choose to do some messy creating. That again rolls up beautifully and pops into this case. Now I forgot to pop in, but the trusty tool that everybody needs scrapbooking is our trimmer. And once again that sits nicely inside this container, and we can just close it all up, ready to go when we are hopping in the car. So therefore we've got our basic tools ready to roll as well. Now if you're someone like me who likes to do a little bit of extra embellishing, you obviously need to bring along some embellishments. I have a few storage options and movable options for that. This is one of our 6x8 Everyday Life albums, and I've popped in there some of the little divided up Picture My Lifestyle protectors and slid in all of my little soft light embellishments so that I can flip through them easily when I'm ready to finish off my page. For some of the more interesting little tools and embellishments, I love to use these little acrylic, they're called mini acrylic cases. They've got that great clasp on the front, nice and sturdy. They open up so they've got a little bit of extra depth in the lid, and they are divided into sections of 4. So in this one I put all my little stickles, my stickles glues and my texture paste plus a couple of tools ready to go for a bit of background sparkle and shine. In this one I have got my distressed oxide inks, or at least a selection of them, along with, in my little flip flat holders, the little sponge that's going to go on top of our distressing tool with using the distressed oxides. I also have another case down here, and this one I have, instead of dividing into 4, I've taken out one of the dividers, and so I've kept it as 2, and I've got all my shimmer trims and ribbons that I want to take, and these really cute little embellishments that you can put inside shakers or just add onto the top of an embellishment. I store them in these little craft jars which fit really nicely in these as well. Now, as another option for using these little storage containers, if you've got a whole heap of little journaling pens, I've got all these colourful ones that I really like to take with me. They fit in beautifully as well and really easy to find and get out the colour you're wanting. So that's another use for this sized container. Now we also have a deeper container which is called our stamp organiser. Now I am starting to move all my stamps into this size. I do obviously, for the bulk of my stamps, need a larger container which I can show you over here. And this is our deeper version of this case here. They stack on top of each other and it holds a huge amount of stamps. However, going to retreat, I don't need all of those stamps. So I take too much, I've got too much choice. So what I typically do is take one box full of my alphabet stamps, because I absolutely love having my alphabet stamps in a selection to play with. And the other box is all my current stamps, all my favourite stamps, the things that I think I'm quite likely to need with the themes of the photos I've taken with me. So I just take a couple of cases of stamps along with me on the day. Then of course we need some inks. Now this is a little system that we had to go with these suitcases, and it's a lovely small size. It can hold little mini stamps as well, which obviously these do as well. But I put a selection of inks inside that I think I will need, and I restrain myself from taking every single one. I make do. It's amazing what you can do when you're a bit limited with supplies once you're there. And my other little case, exactly the same, I've actually stored all my stamping blocks. so that I can easily take them in one little holder away with me. So that is the majority of the things I am going to need when I'm away. Obviously I do throw in a die cutting machine and a few thin cut dies, which I do store exactly like this. And I may throw in my heat tool as well with some embossing powder, which again the embossing powders fit beautifully into here. So I hope that gives you a little glimpse into how to think about packing for a retreat. I hope you get to go on one soon too.